Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is Mark, aka the Arachnoholic, coming at you guys with another care video today on Brachypelma baeme. I am super stoked to talk about this tarantula. I have been wanting to own one for years, but I've never really gotten around to it. But anyway, I hope you guys are equally as stoked for this as I am. So without further ado, let's begin. Brachypelma baeme, commonly known as the Mexican fire-leg tarantula, is a New World terrestrial known for its bright orange or red legs. It is very similar to the Brachypelma armori and smithi, but with a different pattern on its legs, and also getting slightly larger. The bee baeme hails from Mexico in Central America and is known to be found along the Pacific coast, and lives mainly in the dry scrublands there. This is a ground-dwelling, opportunistic burrower. In other words, it will make its burrow wherever it is convenient, whether this be underneath plants or fallen debris, or even in abandoned burrows left over from other animals. This species was described in 1993, and females can grow to a little over 6.5 inches, living as long as 25 years in captivity, while the males tend to live only 7 to 8 years, and are also significantly smaller. So, I'm sure you guys have heard me mention before in my videos about how most brachypelmas are very docile and will tolerate some level of handling while showing little to no defensive behavior. Well, the Mexican fireleg is most certainly an exception to that rule. These guys are very skittish and quick to kick hairs, and their hairs are amongst some of the most irritating of all tarantula species. In fact, you can see here that gigantic bald spot on my big girl's butt. That is from all of the hairs she has kicked in just the 2 weeks I have owned her for. They can also be defensive at times, and while their venom is very mild, I still would not want to be bitten by those fangs. Mine also tends to bolt whenever I remove the lid to her enclosure, and while she's nowhere near as fast moving as, say, an OBT, she is surprisingly quick on her feet for a brachypelma. Care for these guys is quite straightforward and literally identical to any of the Brachypelma tarantulas. Adults can be housed in a 5 to 10 gallon enclosure, whether this be a plastic Tupperware container with holes drilled into the tops and sides, or a glass terrarium. Just be sure to avoid mesh screen lid tops, as the tarses or the claws of the tarantula have been known to get stuck in these, and they can also chew through them rather easily. You want to provide these with plenty of floor space, being that they are a ground-dwelling spider. They may or may not burrow, but either way, it's just a good idea to provide them with plenty of substrate. They aren't the greatest climbers, but just like people, tarantulas can be stubborn, so they may attempt to climb, and therefore are at risk of wounding or possibly killing themselves should they fall onto a hard surface from more than a couple of inches. Because of this risk, I usually fill my enclosures about halfway to 3/4 of the way with cocoa fiber or peat humus. These guys like it bone dry though, so misting isn't really necessary, unless it is for the purpose of providing them with a water source. Still, it's generally a good idea to provide yours with a water dish regardless. They will also appreciate a piece of decor, such as a cork bark slab or log that they can hide under. Just make sure to go with a material that will not grow mold or rust, and that isn't heavy enough to where it can roll over and crush the tarantula. Spiderlings do just fine in a 16-ounce deli cup, and juvies will be perfectly content with a 1 to 3 gallon plastic terrarium or critter keeper. These guys love to eat, and while they do occasionally fast from time to time, it usually isn't for more than a few weeks. My adult female will easily devour 3 or 4 large crickets or mealworms a week. Dubia or discoid roaches also make great feeders if you're able to get them where you live. So there you have it, folks. Brachypelma baymei, also known as the Mexican fire lake tarantula. One of the most sought after tarantulas in the hobby, and with very good reason. I hope you guys all found this video informative and interesting. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, all that good stuff. And as we say here every day, you guys stay awesome.